I was
darkness
supposed
song.
to see Avicii in like 2012, maybe. He was supposed to come to St. Louis, and they ended up. He hadn't committed suicide yet, but they ended up canceling all of his shows.
He was canceled. Did you see the biography on him?
The documentary.
The documentary. Like he was doing too many shows. That's why that's why he ultimately took his life, because he was just overwhelmed. But he was canceling shows left and right because they had him. They were like that management team.
Yeah, like 200. Yeah.
Holy cow! How many shows he was doing?
I've been on an Avicii tear with my reels lately.
Yeah. No, that's what got this conversation started. But yeah, I was supposed to see him in like 2012, and then instead we ended up seeing Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that was my first like not country concert that I saw. And all I remember is like at the end of it, like one of the guitarists or something is stripping his shirt off, trying to handstand walk across the stage, is falling over. Like I was afraid he was gonna fall off the stage on his hands. I was like,
how is his handstand walking?
It was awful. Like he'd kick up and like take 2 steps and then like fall sideways.
Oh, it sounds like mine.
He was clearly very intoxicated while he was doing this. I was just like mind blown as to what was going on.
That's new today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hello.
We've been talking. We've been talking about doing this for a year.
Assuming Teddy gets the editing done.
Yeah. It might not be in there. So actually, for what I'm pointing at the camera filming us.
Yeah. So you can find us on the Clydesdale Media YouTube channel. If you want to see our pretty faces doing the podcast, we've been audio only for the first 40-something episodes.
We didn't do hair and makeup tonight.
Yes, I'm actually.
Don't ever expect hair and makeup. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yes. So we've been audio only for the first 40-odd episodes.
Talking about doing video every time.
So many times. Scott's
we want to do like multiple. It would be awesome to do like multiple camera views so we can cut back.
Training thing does that.
When you edit, you can do like, I need to zoom in on James.
We need a bigger table for multiple camera angles.
Get a bunch of GoPros.
Yeah. We need more staff, I think.
Yes, we do. Last time we were talking about the team quarterfinals, and it was after they had ended, but before the leaderboard had been finalized.
Yes.
Today, as we record this, there has been developments in news, and so
some.
Yes,
yeah.
Some developments.
So Taylor, why don't you update us on what the latest is?
Well, according to a CrossFit Games Facebook post last Friday evening, the leaderboards are finalized.
An Instagram post, a tweet of a tweet.
Yeah. The Facebook post was a screenshot of the tweet as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
So supposedly
leaderboard
is final. So the top 80 will be getting invite. I think they said, and then they did put out information that this Friday, the 22nd, invites are going out. So it's not formal. It's not formal until I see that email.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking? This is random, but I think that at least for the tweets, because a lot of their actually official stuff comes from the Twitter and they screenshot it. They should, I think they do this with like the president sometimes, or at least Barack Obama did it. But like when their tweet is from Adrian Bosman, it should be like AB.
Yeah.
Like just say
off
AB.
on it, yeah.
Just to say
so it's like a little more official. It's not just like, some random CrossFit person that doesn't know anything just decided to throw this tweet up.
Like, they scheduled that tweet for Saturday and forgot to unschedule
Yeah, exactly.
it.
Or like, because
So is this when we kind of talk about things that they could change?
Yeah, maybe some points of performance.
Well, I was gonna say, because this goes back to when they posted, who's it, Griffin Royale or whatever, Raleigh doing that bench press with his butt coming off, and they're like, "This is your winner of the strength event," and who was it, like Tommy or someone was saying that, like, he's like, "Oh, that was my fault. It was just someone that was posting it. They weren't sure of like the standards. They were like just hiring people out." And it's like kind of the same thing, like when you're saying if they could like sign off on the tweets, the Twitters, if they could sign off on the tweets, then you would just feel a little bit more like confident and comfortable with what they're saying, I guess.
Let me run through these real quick.
Here's
what I'll do. I will read them all off, and then we can be done with it, or we
can not be done with it,
or we can discuss.
People don't forget
that I have noticed. I call them the blunders. It started with, and this, you can agree or disagree with all these in there, but this is just things that, I essentially run like a small business, kind of like my own business. If I ran it this way, I don't know if I'd be in business. But 4 months after the games, out of the clear blue sky, they fire the games director.
And that was right before season, too. It's 2 weeks before the season.
2 weeks. No reason, no rhyme or reason. Nobody talked about it. Nobody gave reasons. They're just, hey, guess what? He's gone.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to read through
Yep, sorry. I won't interrupt.
They leaked the open workouts, or open workout, whatever. They have conflicting weights on the barbell between indie and team quarters. So they, like you had, one was like, the bar was 33 pounds and 44 pounds, and then it's back to normal. The demo team on the standard videos doesn't even do the standards correctly. Overly hard on the pistols, where they were okay. Where I look at videos, I took the judges course. I've been in this land for 10 years. Overly hard where they were okay, and they let stuff pass that was clearly not to standard. They screwed up the leaderboard, and then finalized it.
Huh?
And then gave some 70% blah blah blah.
They said we don't think there's enough erroneous scores. Everybody now knows what erroneous
Right.
was used a lot.
It's just such. So anyway,
and they actually said there's 4 athletes that would have made it if there was basically. Brian Friend said that today.
So
that sucks.
Yeah.
Repeat that. What was it?
Brian Friend said so. Basically, there's 4 athletes between America and Europe, North America and Europe, that would have made it if they had gone through the score. So I'll just say it real quick. The 121st guy, I think he got 475th or something in workout 3, and he needed 3. I think it was 3 spots. He needed 3 erroneous scores between him, his 430th, and 100.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
So, hopefully he'll get a backfill, but it's still annoying.
Well, no kidding. Well, then when you go say 127, then
exactly.
They would have got a spot.
Yeah.
So that's mine. That's Shuttlegate. They botched up the shuttle runs, and then basically posted that the scores don't matter. We basically just talked about that. But posting videos on their you just said this. Posting videos on their social media with athletes clearly not following a standard. You have people that were. I mean, they were not doing runs, different camera angles, not doing movements correctly. Their butts coming off the bench, all kinds of stuff. Clearly, overworked employees sending emails at midnight and 4 a.m.
Yeah, we were getting one of our emails was 4 a.m., which is 2 a.m. in California or wherever they are. That's insane.
With a lot of trouble between he and her, and
yes, a lot of spelling errors.
That's my next one. No proofreading of emails.
Definitely
very,
not.
very unprofessional. I read and then reread and sometimes read out loud messages before I send them if they're important.
You can appeal. Sure. You can appeal this ruling, and it's are we appealing F2 or the mail?
Yeah,
because we don't know.
M2 or F2 because you said both.
Yeah.
So
at different points. Yeah.
Conflicting info on the indie team and master qualifications and rule book, meaning they changed the leaderboard dates after the fact. As recent as a month ago, there was a podcast where Adrian Bosman was out talking about, hey, it's really cool this year. If you're if you're a master, you could make it as an individual, you could be on a team, and you could be as a master, and then after that, you can decide what you want to do. Definitely not. They finalized the screwed up leaderboard, sent out invites, and said you've got to have your answer back in. We'll get back that into a minute, but and then the last one is just recent. The recent screw up is assigning Canadians to U.S. semis, Americans to Canadian semis, and then switched them overnight without any explanation. Yeah, which is par for the course with how they communicate with people. So anyway, that's my venting.
We have to be missing some too.
I have. If anybody from CrossFit's listening, I have stuck up. Yes. I'm always like, hey, I'll be the benefit of the doubt for. I play devil's advocate for CrossFit because I love it, but they have done so many blunders this year. It's hard to be in their corner. Obviously there needs to be change. So that's it. Got it off my chest. I feel good.
You feel better?
Yeah, I do feel better.
No, but even the fact, so they have gone back and said that because last year once you accepted an individual invite, you could not go team or masters. Yep. You were locked in, and it says in their email that you can't do that. Mm-hmm. In the invite email, it says if you choose this, you cannot do team or masters. So I emailed them because we have all this conflicting evidence saying that, oh yeah, you can choose after the fact, blah, blah, blah. Emailed them because our team, we were kind of sitting on the bubble after we got a couple big penalties. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to screw myself over and miss out on, in case for some reason we get penalties on our last 3 workouts for the team. I didn't want to miss my opportunity to do a semifinal. So I emailed them and asked if I could go what I should do in that situation,
So
basically.
you just blew past an important piece of information that we didn't announce to the group.
Oh, yeah. So
What?
right now I'm signed up for the Syndicate Crown,
Yes.
which is the
Yeah.
first
You
semifinal.
finished what
37.
37th. Yep.
in North
What's the
America?
applause
Oh, I
button?
think
See?
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I was going to find this email.
While you're looking for that.
Here, I got it right
okay.
here, actually. Okay. So what they basically said was, do you want me to read my email too? No, just read theirs.
Paraphrase.
Okay. So thanks for reaching out. If you for sure want to go team, you are free to decline your invite now. Keep in mind, if you decline and later decide you want to compete as an individual, you cannot go back and retroactively invite you as an individual. If you still want to keep the individual slot as a backup, I would suggest you accept the invite now and then wait for the team to get invited. If at that point you decide you want to go team, then you can decline the individual invite and we'll attempt to backfill your spot.
Boom.
Hope this helps. Let us know if you have any other
Okay,
questions.
so my take on that one was it was a little unclear in the rule book and whatever about that, but that was actually a nice reply from CrossFit. Like I
It
liked that.
But I'm just, let's see if I can find the invite because this is what had me panicked was on the invite.
So while you're looking for it too, originally the schedule was that the team leaderboard would be finalized on the same Wednesday of this invite for individuals going out. The meaning of that being that you would have known if you were qualified as a team
Yes.
or as an individual, which would
Yes.
then make sense. You wouldn't need to accept both.
Correct.
You got
So
the
this
option.
is
You do have the option.
This is
Yeah.
what made me worried. In the individual invite to the Syndicate Crown, it says important, highlighted in yellow. You can't see it in the screen, but important. As a reminder, athletes who qualify for multiple semifinals across divisions, individual, team, age group, are only bold, underlined, capitals, permitted to register and compete in one semifinal event of their choice.
So
So we needed to get some clarification.
yeah, so those are in direct conflict.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's the automated email that wasn't updated after the team
It could-
leaderboard finalizing got delayed
Could be.
from Shuttlegate.
Yeah. From
Shuttlegate.
So anyway, CrossFit got a nice little $327 as a bonus or a backup policy for me.
Syndicate, so I'm sure there's a
Which
split
I'm
there.
sure there's a
Syndicate Crown
couple-
gets some, and
yeah.
I'm sure CrossFit gets
Oh
a
yeah,
portion of
but
that.
anyways, that's
It could have been worse though. I'm
it
glad
could've-
that
I'm glad that they
they
gave me that opportunity
Yeah.
because, like I said, I was really worried with just how our first two workouts went with the penalties. But
Yeah.
then, of course, they didn't even judge our last three. We don't even get emails about the last three, and they finalized the leaderboard. So, whatever, it is what it is.
Well,
and nobody get like there's
And
great
all the
muscle ups in
penalties
last
were
one.
done
Yeah.
before. All the penalties were taken before the individual invites had to be accepted. So if they weren't going to look at workouts
They
3 through
could've
5, why
finalized.
didn't they just finalize the leaderboard so we wouldn't have this issue? You know,
yeah, it's been sitting there unchanged.
it has
for
been
like a
unchanged
week.
since Tuesday of last week, and individual invites needed to be accepted by Wednesday.
So who's the last team in, James?
CrossFit SAG1.
Yeah, and then like who's 81 to 85? Anybody?
Screen
do we
Actors
know?
Guild.
Screen Actors Guild.
CrossFit Explode and CrossFit 819 are 81 and 82.
Ocean State is 83, right?
I think they had
is that
multiple teams.
teams?
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a name that we know.
Yeah, I think they had multiple teams. I could be wrong though, but
And then a kilo team was 84 or something. One of the other.
I don't know. The other kilo teams like
But,
top
you know,
20, top 30,
Yeah,
25.
they're
Those
They're
teams could have
19th, I
potentially
think.
been. They finalized the leaderboard by looking at what we know. Literally, we didn't get an email. I know we didn't look
Yeah.
at those last 3 videos because nobody's times changed. We didn't get any emails that they were looked at.
They didn't
Nothing.
request it or whatever.
No, man, they were like,
No.
you know what? We've worked hard enough. We're taking some naps.
There are thrusters and ring muscle ups in the last workout. Like those are two huge,
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge
Yep.
potential penalties.
I'm
Agreed.
wondering if they even, what? All right, let's just remain positive. I've done enough negativity on there. I don't like being that negative. That was my one vent, and we're done with it.
So Taylor's going team.
Yep. She's going to
Hypothetical.
assuming
we get an
Friday that
invite.
we get an actual invite.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say
I guess this won't come out until Monday.
we're 99%.
So hopefully it's done. I text. I don't know if I'm going to take us off track here, but I texted Taylor after the syndicate came out. Like most of I think 27 of the 30 girls were there, and I was like, "Oh, how do you think you would do against this field?" Like I know that we're the team thing or whatever, and Taylor's like, I don't know. I just want to go team. I'm like, fine, I'll go play this game with Matt. Like,
That did happen.
yeah. She's like, yeah, do that. Do that.
He's also texting me, I'm like at work, and I'm like, I was already stressed about the whole thing, and then I was like,
just no more
I don't want to talk
questions.
about it.
Yeah. It's funny because
The answer would be pretty good.
But I think I have a definite shot at making the games if I go there.
There's a ranking out there by a certain somebody.
no, there's
that
not.
we like.
No, there's not. No, there's
But
not.
I do. You know, obviously it's a really tough group. But
Oh, yeah.
I think she could sneak in 4th, 5th, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about. I mean, literally, Sean Woodland said you jumped off the page, and the Talking Elite Fitness. Yeah. And
that was pretty cool. That was I got to listen to that. Someone on my Instagram just messaged me and said, hey, like you should go listen to the latest Talking Elite Fitness. They talk about you at the beginning. And I was like, okay. And we were driving to my grandma's house for Easter with my parents. And so I like pulled it up on my phone, and they definitely said some really nice things about me, which was really cool. And my parents were like, oh, that's like so awesome. Like it was kind of a cool moment to share that with them. And
shout out Tommy and Sean.
yeah, for sure. And for them to see, like, you know, I am a crazy person, but like I got a little recognition behind it. So
yeah, you're a good, one of the best in the world, and that's why they talk about it. And like there was, they talked about your swimming, and Tommy knows your like CrossFit career pretty well, like inside out. Like when he was saying like at the Wadapalooza broadcast, he's like, and Taylor Stride, who qualified for the games through Wadapalooza.
Yeah.
So he's a good analyst.
It gave you the ranking of like the anchor of the team over Steve. So
I think that's pretty true. Steve's team captain, Taylor's field general.
probably, yeah. We all had our moments. Everyone kind of stepped up at a different point.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
New team this year. So actually, that's a good lead in. What's next? So assuming we get the invite on Friday, there's no reason to believe anything different that we shouldn't. But so, what's next for us? How's training going to change, or what's been going on? Let the group know.
So honestly, training hasn't changed a ton. We just haven't had the weekend of quarterfinals, both weekends, it's really kind of focused on a lot of individual stuff, or like you're not really, I guess we're doing team workouts during the team weekend, but it's kind of a mess.
The team quarterfinals and team semifinals programming looks very different.
For sure.
Yes.
And so we've become good friends with the worm again. Actually, I think we're moving the worm pretty well, which is fun.
For this part of the season, moving it very, very well.
Yeah. Definitely getting a little smoother. And we went to a training camp at Kilo earlier this year, and just got some different kind of feedback and advice on the worm, and it's definitely helped and us become a little bit smoother, which is exciting.
Thank you, Luke.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. Which is exciting to see and exciting to kind of become a part of. But
that helped training. Not even just the worm. That really kind of kicked, I think, team training into high gear. It's been, I would say we do team training. It's at least 2, if not 3 days a week. So we do it a little bit on Friday. We definitely do a little bit on Saturday, and then on Sunday we've been coming in and doing some pretty hard workouts. So
sometimes like Wednesday with some alternates. Maybe.
On Wednesdays we might throw the worm around a little bit.
Not everybody can be there, so we throw in. We've got we got a world class gym filled with athletes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We throw some people in there to make stuff work sometimes there too. So 2 to 4 times a week. And I mean, if you think about last year, it just wasn't that. It wasn't that much, especially even with the worm. I think we got away with one with not as much worm experience, and it's going to be even better this year.
Yeah, I think last year West Coast there only was 2 worm workouts.
Yeah, none in the games.
And none of the games, but none until the top 20 of the games. But with that being said, the worm workouts at West Coast were easy. It was squats and lunges, which are the 2 easier movements. And where you saw like the Granite Games, they had to do DT with the worm. Mac, you had to do it. You did everything on the worm. You did thrusters, clean and jerks, deadlifts.
Ask Mayhem about that.
Yeah.
Back you had
everything.
you had a like meet at the worm, like where 2 people were fresh, 2 people were tired.
Yeah. Oh gosh, those thrusters. We tested that workout. That was brutal. But I think this year, especially with the Mac and Syndicate Crown being programmed by the same people, I think you're going to see a lot of worm workouts at those. which is exciting because that's where you really kind of see that teamwork come into play, come into action. So,
well, I mean, at least 2. So you got to think a third of your workout. So at least 2, if not 3. If there's 3, it's probably half. It's 50% of your workout's going to be on that worm. So, or
something is on that worm. Yeah. So I think that's a pretty cool implement, and for us, like that's where, like I said, we're moving smooth on the worm, and then it's just really like starting to practice synchro everything with each other, starting to learn like, hey, you're better at cycling the barbell, so you're going to do this. I'm going to do more of this in this workout because I'm better at that, or vice versa. Just kind of starting to hone in on our strengths and weaknesses a little bit and figure out how we can become the best well-oiled machine together.
Yeah. And we're going to start, where they're at. I mean, we're going to start throwing in some no reps to see how they handle that in, even if they're solid reps. I do.
Oh, yeah.
No reps.
There's no other way to
do it again.
You got to get up there.
I remember last year. I'm like sitting on the bike just watching you guys, and Matt's like, I'm going to throw some no reps at him today. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they're going to do a good rep, but I'm going to call it a no rep. I'm like, oh, because that happens.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's when you think things are going smooth, it's out of the blue, and you're like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
For sure.
So how do they react to that?
For what? I'm like, not telling. Because they don't. It's like, what are we getting no rep for?
Well, that's like last year we were getting no rep on those like burpees and squats, and we had no idea. We just kept going.
Can somebody tell me what's going on?
We should have stopped afterwards and been like, so what was like going on? Because we had no idea. But thankfully, Matt had prepared us well.
Yeah.
And he was like,
oh, yes,
used to throwing crap at us, and we just keep moving.
Yeah, we did.
Do like 120 burpees
round
instead
2.
of 90.
Yeah, that round 2, we did 40 squats, 40 burpees, or whatever.
Just increase. We just wanted to do a few extra reps. That's really all it was.
Yeah, that was panic mode day 1.
So that we're ahead of the. We've got. We admittedly we do have a couple of weekends coming up where some of the team is going to be traveling. Like Steve's got his honeymoon, and some other people are doing some other traveling. So it's not complete waste of weekends. Like Steve's going to be back, I think, one of those days. So, but we're using every bit of time.
Yeah.
Doing team stuff, whether it's not all synchro, but it's just the team being together to learn all their little ins and outs of how they train, how they breathe, when they fail, when they don't, what can they push, what can't they, and they're going to start going a little bit harder to see where the breaking points are.
What do you guys think about the quarterfinals leaderboard as an indication of like semifinals success being like at the top of the leaderboard? It's probably pretty solid, but I feel like kind of especially with some of these penalties, because the pistol penalties and also no worm work, it can be kind of in the middle, maybe a bit misleading. I don't want to pick on like the team man-made or whatever they ended up making the games with they were in 6th, and then the drug testing thing with Invictus, but like they were, I think, like top 10 in the quarterfinals for the quarterfinals, and they didn't make the games out of the top 5 initially.
I think obviously some of it is very very well put together. I think some of those top teams are definitely going to be your top teams. But last year, even going to West Coast, we were out of the top 30 teams. I think like 11 of those teams are at West Coast, so there you are going to have some people that fall out of that top 10, right? Out of that top 5. But you don't have a lot of as many team implements in quarterfinals, and so it's just harder to see it kind of shake out. I think last year too is interesting. There was like a couple teams from Granite Games, I think, that like were in the top 50, and they ended up making the games. So it just, we
were just talking about like there's a worm at 50% of some of these semifinals, and that doesn't happen.
I think it's.
I think it's kind of a.
Because we're at 61st, and so people will be like, they're not going to make it.
Yeah, and I think, people probably think that, but I think from our standpoint, like, we know we are.
Where were those people when we were 18th on the left?
Yeah, well, and
right. And it's also like if they don't do a scoring adjustment announcement for like they did for the individuals, which who knows if they'll do it for the teams. Wouldn't be shocked. Then
I wouldn't be shocked if they did, because if they didn't, because there were so many penalties.
You wouldn't be shocked if they didn't. And announcers, even like people like Tommy Marquez, aren't going to know who got penalties, major penalties, and it's like how do you? Because without our penalties were completely different.
I feel bad for them because they, again, that's the only piece of information that they go off of unless they know a team, right? So it's like they're going to be reading this going, oh, they came in 77th, and they're like doing pretty good and it could have been somebody got hammered in workout 1 and 2, which again, their fault for maybe not doing the reps correctly. But going back to your question, I think, quarters to semis is kind of like the open going into quarters too. You're in your own gym. Mm-hmm. You can hit play on the recording and start a workout when you want, when you feel good. Put your correct music on. You've got your favorite spot in the gym.
Angels and Arrows.
Yeah, you got Angels and Arrows queued up. I mean, it's the same thing with teams. They're doing that. They redid a workout.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many people redid workouts?
We need teams that redid workouts. You don't get that chance at semis. So how do you work together as a team in a live atmosphere going on somebody else's time with different people next to you, with judges yelling and crowd noise?
Like West Coast is crazy how back-to-back the events were.
Oh my gosh, that was insane.
And they finished all the teams in the morning, and it was nice because we had the afternoons off. We could kind of chill.
Yeah, they only had 2 heats of teams, so the first heat would go, you would go, and then the first heat would go next. Like, they literally left 10 minutes between events.
Yeah.
It was like...
couldn't go anywhere.
You guys came back out for the final event. I'm like, what the hell? This just happened.
Well, and that one was only like a 7-minute long event too. So it was like we did that event and then we literally went back and started warming up for the last event.
Oh.
Like that's what we did that actually every event.
So right there, how does a team that's used to having hours of prep and doing it on their own and not really working together, you throw a kink in there like that. Like, hey, guess what? You got. You're off the floor and you're going in 37 minutes.
It's like, no, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
I mean, it's better. I think, every year people get better and better and people get the secret formula and stuff like that. But I mean, walking out after the ruck run, within 15 minutes, you were taking your ruck bag off, you were getting into a pool to cool off.
Yeah.
We came back and there was still people hanging out in the hallway, trying to
lay on the ground.
Lay on the ground. Like, that is absolutely a fail.
Yeah.
That team is never going to be able to recover doing something like that and have any success for the next workout. So it's just a plan. People will learn from that. And everything will get better. But it's little things like that. How do you work together in environments like that? And I think this team does really well.
It's crazy. Yeah. There's one team that's napping on the concrete floor. There's another team that's in the pool eating pancakes.
We are the best. We are the best team at home, making sure we were well fed.
Support crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was terrible, but that was fun.
What semifinal do you want to go to? If you had to pick, which we don't get to pick at all, but just for fun, that's a hypothetical.
Say, personally, MAC or Granite Games.
Is MAC the second week?
MAC is the second weekend.
Granite Games third week.
Yeah.
What do you want to go to?
I would say the Syndicate.
First one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine with that one too. That'd be fine.
Not even because it's the first week. I mean, it's a new event, so it's like. I would think that they would, want to make it nice. I don't know how similar it is going to be to the MAC because it's run by the same people in the same space. But I would imagine they're trying to, eventually they're wanting to try to distinguish each other from each other,
right?
Because they're not going to be in the same space, or not. At least they don't want that the same.
Yeah.
Weekend. So
I'll tell you my theory that I threw out to Matt earlier in the week. The kryptonite to it is if CrossFit programs the strength event, but I was hoping for Mac because the programmer Wilson Pack, I think is his name, who's the head of it, he also does the programming. He said in the Mac's 8-ish year history, they've always started out the individuals with the max lift. So like last year was the snatch. Sometimes they do clean and jerk, but they do that. And he said we almost always do the team starting out with a max lift as well, and the team event is always the one that you did last year. It is the male, female, do a clean and jerk snack. And you look back at on their website, they have a history of their events, and every single one has started out the team event with that. And so to get out of heat 1 on the first day, which you're going to be in heat 1 on the first day, it would be really nice to have a max lift.
That is true.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Win it with Steve.
Yes.
Morgan is coming on with her strength.
And you snatching would be
for sure. Morgan clean jerking, me snatching. Yeah, that would be a good workout for us for sure.
Just because, I hate that we don't know this for sure, but I'm almost positive that they're just going to reseed after each day. Like not
Yeah,
after
that's how
each
they
event.
usually do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
It's just too much to do, especially like if you were at West Coast
Yeah.
last year and they try to reseed
Yeah,
between
right, it wouldn't
the
make any
first and
sense.
second
Right.
event. That's not fair.
there were some events that did like, or some semifinals I believe that did like team, individual.
Yeah.
Then
Team,
team
and then you could
individual,
reseed if
yeah.
you did that, but
But I
a
don't
lot
think
of
they-
times they try
yeah.
not to do that. I
Yeah.
think because of equipment and staffing and
Yeah.
stuff.
So with where we're at, we would be in the first heat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you're
definitely
gonna
going to
be
be in the first heat.
And so it's going to be hard. Not, I wouldn't say it's like impossible, but it would be really hard to get in the top 5. I think if you're in the first heat for the second day, but depends on if you have a really good day. But like just having heat advantage for 2 of the 3 days would be really big.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not. It especially depends on the programming. Like if
Yeah.
but it would be really good to get out of the first heat
Yes.
after day 1.
Yes, it would.
For sure.
Yeah, importance. So I mean, if it was, and then kind of what you're laying out there as far as I think. Well, my point is what you're laying out there is if they could get a strength event and do very well, that could help them.
Yes.
To get out of to make that happen. But I think, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. But it's all speculation. But with CrossFit coming in and giving 2 workouts, again, one of my predictions is that they are going to hand out the strength event.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good prediction.
So if that it's kind of laying out there that's good, the way it's going to be, so that would work in our favor. I think.
And my question, because Matt said that, I'm like, oh dang, you're right. That's a wrench in my theory, and we don't know the answer to this question, but I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're going to mandate when the strength event is as well, because if they
I was thinking about that because if you want the test to be measurable and like the same, you should have it first, or you should have it last, or whatever it is. So that
it doesn't matter, really. It just at the same time.
At the same time,
in the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like last year, that was the whole thing with Steve. Like he could have broke the clean and jerk record at West Coast, except we did it after 2 hours after a 4-mile ruck run in 100-degree weather. So
no, 115 degree weather.
whatever it was terrible.
Exactly.
So and that was they asked Steve why he didn't like go for the heavier lift, and he's like, well, I missed it the first time, and I've never done that after a 2-hour ruck run.
I've
That was a
never
good point.
tested a max lift after
A 2-hour rock run in 115 degree heat, which we got second place.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny because it's like she was like, I don't think you realize how crappy we feel.
What year is that, James? What year is that?
Last year.
Okay. Yeah, so last year at the MAC, it was...
So first event was
what was
strength event.
You know what's funny is the Granite Games did the exact same thing too.
Yeah.
The same event?
They did the exact same
max
event.
snatch.
Have James go through it. Tell me what that is.
3 attempts at a max snatch. 3 attempts. Oh, so that was male 1. Male 2, 3 attempts at a max clean and jerk.
Between in a 6-minute window?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And then a 2-minute transition, and then max snatch attempt for the woman 1, and max clean and jerk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I think that's a fair test. You kind of figure out which one of your male and females are the best snatchers, and then you clean and jerk. You can kind of.
Then there was
it's
a worm
interesting.
workout afterwards.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was.
That's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen. But I mean, I like that. I wouldn't mind. Max lifting. We've seen that so many times, and I think if you put it in CrossFit hands, they might do some kind of a complex. So I think it's going to be that type of event that they program, and then I'm kind of hoping it's like a complex. It doesn't have to be like 4 or 5 movements or something stupid like that, but maybe like a 2 like snatch, hang snatch, or clean, hang clean, or something like that. Something like that. Who can do 2 lifts?
It would be funny if they do that, just because of how the interviews go with the programming with Chase and Bill, with the Wilson Pack, the guy that programs that's not going to be doing syndicate and it. And he's just like, we stay away from the crazy ass complexes that just get bigger and bigger each year. Like we don't do that. We just do like Olympic lifting, like this and this.
The one
like
at the Rogue Invitational.
Yeah.
It was
The
like
Bella,
4 things.
Yeah, no. I think like 2 would be good. It's not like hey, 6 deadlifts and then. Hang clean.
That's Training Think Tank did that
Yeah,
one. That was
I had
like
to do that.
6.
5 overhead squats.
Yes.
No, it was 5 snatch grip deadlifts, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Which is like so random.
4.
And then 4 hang power snatch or hang snatch.
3
and then
overhead
3
squat.
overhead squat.
I did this. So it's like, but yeah.
you did.
But like that just gets, even like a judge is like, what if you're like resting on when you're like, oh, is that rep 2 or 3?
Yeah.
You know, like it just gets more and more complex.
That was terrible.
They also, Wadapalooza one year for a qualifier did a 6 RM bear complex.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my
people
God.
got. I mean, that was. Like
I
people getting
literally,
hurt.
people got super hurt on that. And I literally saw that I was debating going individual and I was like, nope. I was like, I will not do that.
I mean, the problem is, I mean, if you do what I just said, like 2, like a clean, hang clean, snatch, hang snatch, you can still get some pretty good numbers in there.
Yeah.
If you do like 6 deadlifts, 5 or whatever,
5, 4, 3,
you significantly decrease the weight that's going up.
Yeah.
So
it's not near as exciting.
for as far as a show, which you're trying to get a show, which is a max, max lift. You want that out there. But I think too, like, hey, you get lucky with 1 snatch, bring it back down and do a hang snatch and see if you can back up that number. It's kind of like golf.
Yeah.
You get a birdie. You don't want to double bogey the next hole. You got at least par that next hole to make it legit. So
Pretty exciting watching people snatch like 300 pounds. Though.
I know it is. But you can get. What if somebody could do a 275 snatch, hang snatch?
I mean, Steve.
Like right after the games, like in Training Think Tank, there's like now a huge poster banner of
I believe it, Travis.
Players,
Yeah.
Snatching
Yeah.
300.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a
pretty
awesome,
cool. Yeah.
It's
He's
huge.
like-
It's
he's
the
like-
whole wall.
They're like, what was it like doing that? He's like, I blacked out.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, something like that. I would think they'd probably CrossFit would probably stay away from the worm. I think they'd probably give maybe like some kind of a lift, whether it be a max or whatever, which would be perfectly fine. I don't care. And then like some kind of a skill workout so you could test those 2 things, and then they can go whatever weird elements like torque tank and all that jazz. They can do that on their own.
I love Europe and all of them doing well in the team competition for the first time last year. Great job, awesome, blah blah blah. It's crazy that there was so they did all virtual semifinals, no worm. They came to the CrossFit Games, no worm until after they cut down to 20 teams, and then they cut down to 10. There was another worm. I can't remember if they did 2.
They just did
1, and then the last event with the thing. That's crazy. Yeah. So there were a lot of teams that got all the way to the top 20 at the games that never touched the worm.
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate test of a team.
Right.
Yes.
Bob is not the same thing.
No.
And like the first worm workout was just like 12 air squats or 12 squats or something.
Yeah,
like 6
and they did like
rounds,
burpee.
so it wasn't,
Yeah.
Anything crazy.
I mean, 4-person synchro isn't even as team as a worm.
Correct.
Is.
Correct.
I mean, it is punishing. You can be out of depth at a 4-person overhead or out of sync in a 4-person overhead squat and back. No rep. Like, okay, we're right back on track.
Yeah.
You do that same type of wrong move on a worm. No, it's being ripped out of your hands, potentially landing on somebody. You got to drop it, straighten it,
Seen a
lift it
lot
back
of,
up.
yes.
It's punishing.
And I guess like the Dave's defense, whatever. I know that he has like all the shit programmed way earlier, like in the year. So maybe they didn't know that they were going to be all virtual semifinals and that sort of thing. But
I mean,
whatever. It's just kind of crazy.
It's been a tough 2 years.
It's kind of a crazy thing to think about.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, probably some of that too. Well, I don't know. Dave could just have been being a dick, but probably some of it too is how do the team workouts fit with individual workouts the easiest too? You know what I mean? Like they move the workouts around on the board, and it could have been like logistically hard to do some of that too. It just how long the workouts with the worm took, all that kind of stuff you don't think about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, last piece. You got anything else on that? Last piece, we got Masters qualifiers coming this week.
We do.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We got
we have 6.
Mr. Detman over here.
Yeah. 6 athletes in the gym now made it.
Yes.
Well, I'll do it for
Do
myself. I'll
it.
do it for
Do it for
myself.
yourself.
Yeah. For our video
Still going.
friends.
Do it for the
Still
gram.
going.
Get out of here.
Will
We got
Smith
Dan-
smack in the face.
We got Dan,
Dano,
Cindy,
Danielle,
Chris, Grant,
Grant.
and myself.
Yep.
And then we actually have, I think Seth signed up for it. Seth,
Occupational
Occupational,
games.
Yep.
our own stat boy James. Yeah, he's not sure if he's doing it or not, but he did get an invite, right?
I did. I
Yep.
did get an invite.
And I
I
think
got
Matt
an
Pratt.
invite to the occupational
you
games.
did.
Yeah.
I will not
She's
be
not
doing
doing
it.
Matt Pratt, I believe, did for being a student as well. I think, is that it?
I did not.
Yeah.
Web designer didn't get it.
They need to start a media category.
Yeah. Oh, I get smoked in that.
There's some pretty fit media people.
The media people are out of control. So the floor plans came out.
Floor plans
what were
came
your
out.
initial thoughts?
Good. No surprise. Well, actually, that Friday night workout 3 is just a rope and 25 feet of space. So unless we're handstand walking, we're doing shuttle runs and rope
jump
climbs.
ropes on one.
Yeah, the last one is
jump rope.
handstand push-up, row, and double unders.
Yeah.
And there could be pistols in there too. Anytime
I think the
there's-
pistols are
anytime
gonna
there's
be-
floor
Are you-
space, you could do pistols.
Are you doing thrusters on the barbell one that has the 55 plus box? Or what is that? What do you think
I
on
don't
that?
I
No,
don't
the
know.
55 plus box I think is pistols.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that's right.
the
that's
masters or the 55 plus will be doing box step ups
right.
with a weight,
it's
and
a-
everyone else will be doing pistols. Would be my
It's
guess.
Yeah.
It's a bar. It's a bar.
Pull-up bar.
Pull-up bar. Space to
barbell.
work with 55 plus with a box.
Yeah.
And then a barbell on the outside to work. So
You're right
I don't know.
about-
It's,
you're right
it's
about
tough to
pistols.
speculate.
Yeah,
speculate on
that would be my guess, just
Yeah.
from that standpoint. So.
That could be like, I think, toe to bar, pistol, shoulder to overhead. Because you're not going to do a thruster. You're not going to do. I mean, what else? You're not going to do any leg dominant movement after coming off
probably not.
pistols. Probably not. So.
Yeah.
It's just squat
Well,
rack.
guess what? We'll find out. And
Yes.
I don't know.
Do we find out tomorrow or the next day?
there's
Oh,
a squat
rack,
rack.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's a squat
there
rack.
is workout 4 is just a squat rack.
Did they put in an invisible bench?
They did for
not.
individuals, so there could be a bench. Which
What should be the same?
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that
It
was
could
the
be.
same
Yeah,
event.
you could do
that was
that.
a good. I thought that was good. It kind of
I
challenged
liked
people
it a
outside
lot.
of their comfort zone, which was kind of cool.
They could do that.
Is your goal to make the semifinals, or do you have a goal? I know you're
Yeah,
primary
it's
coach this year.
slightly goal. I've taken my. I was kind of hurting after the game, so I
Yeah.
took some time not training hard. I got to be honest with you. I have not been training as hard this year as it was last year.
Right.
I'm about to age up. I really want to go hard next year.
Yep.
So, not that I'm not going to try. I'm absolutely going to try, but I don't expect as much like in years past. Like,
Right.
Hopefully.
You're coaching pretty hard.
yeah.
You're coaching hard.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he is.
I'm dedicating a lot of time on that.
You
I
are.
enjoy that. That's not going to be the same next year. I really want to dedicate some.
Yeah, next year it's about him.
Yeah.
Good.
sure.
Some
Good,
time.
good, good,
So,
good, good.
so yeah, 100% will be going hard. But
I will coach next year.
I won't be. I won't be disappointed.
Bush.
Dog sled commands.
Hey, you can change the commands at that point.
Thank you.
I won't be disappointed if I don't make it as semifinals for sure.
Okay.
don't
Good to know. So I guess
those
that'll
come out. Somebody said that. Those come out Thursday at 2:00 Central Time, so 12
Yep.
Pacific, and then we'll have. It's the same as individuals and teams. We have workout 1 and 2 done by Friday at 2. Workout 3 and 4 done by Saturday by 2, and then workout 5 done by Sunday at 2.
cool. So we'll have a
know-
Masters week. That'll be our next episode. Then
Yeah,
probably.
we'll know what's happening. Well, barring any
Video.
video review, CrossFit.
Matt.
We'll know. But I mean, obviously, if you're way back, obviously you'll kind of know what's going on with everybody. So yeah, I think Chris Grant have a really good shot. Dano's really been doing good. Cindy, this is her first one, right?
Yeah.
So
First
did you
foray.
see her there? And then Danielle's back off injury, doing really good. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see what
Danielle's
this
been
group's going to do.
sneaky fit.
Are you going to
recently.
tell them to watch their pistols? Actually, what we learned is that it's
No, you're just gonna face the camera when
Yeah.
you do
on
your
top
Face-
of. I was going to say the thing that we learned is not
Face
even
camera.
about extending your hips. It's about getting the freaking right camera angle.
Yeah.
100%.
All camera angle.
That's what Invictus did. They faced the camera for their pistols.
No, they put their camera in the wrong spot.
Details.
Yes.
Yeah, they put their camera, and we won't get into it here.
Everything is nothing.
Dude, Game Central puts it on the YouTube channel, and it's like the camera's not in the right spot. It is 25 feet away from where they're supposed to be. Everybody else has the right. Like if you type in quarterfinals workout 3, what was 1 on YouTube, you will see camera angles of all the same, except for one.
The winning one.
The winning one, the best time in the world. And it's
So
like,
I'm not gonna let myself go down this rabbit hole, being negative again. But almost every single video they posted on their Instagram of people doing the winning movements were shit.
Yep.
They really were.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like butts coming off bench, bad camera angle. Still, it's just
Not bad camera angle. Wrong camera angle. Not allowed.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
last topic of the day, and I don't think we're gonna have a full answer on this. I threw it out to Taylor today. I texted it to Matt, who ignored me. But I was doing a little DMing with Chase Ingram after they did like a judging show, because I'm like, this makes no freaking sense. And it's that the standard operating procedure of a 15% penalty makes no sense in the team competition when there are different types of events. What I mean by that is in event 2 with the burpees, a 15% penalty is worth X. We'll say that. In the event 1, where they work in pairs, a 15% major penalty on one athlete is now twice as costly.
Mm-hmm.
In the last one, the relay with ring muscle ups, the same 15% penalty on one athlete, again, for all the same, is now 4 times as worse as the burpee event and twice as worse as the pair event.
That was just too much to type.
Right.
But it's they need some kind of a graded scale.
Yes, for sure.
Because it's not about it. Okay, I want to say this because I think people get it a little mixed up when I say it, when I approach the subject. It is not that the penalties are unfair. It doesn't matter about the fairness of it. It is that the penalties are unequal.
Yes.
Like totally different depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so the simple version, this would be oversimplified, but you would think in a relay, you would do total time divided by 4 times 15%.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
In a pairs, synchro, same thing, but total time divided by 2 times 15%. And that is what you would do if you didn't want to get into the nitty gritty of split times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas split times are working times, which is definitely, there's precedent for it because there's tiebreaker times. They ask for tiebreaker times, so it's in theory, you could put it in your scorecard like that you have to put this out, but that's probably too much.
Yeah.
But the point is that I don't know the exact right that's my first
we'll delve into
theory.
this later, but it's definitely a good topic and something to bring back up after a little more kind of thought and research on it for sure.
Because it's definitely a weird thing for the team competition. But I think that's all we got for today, right?
Yeah.
That is it.
We forgot to turn these lights up.
We'll have better.
It's not going to look. It'll look better next week.
We're learning.
Good luck this weekend, Matt, and we will report back after the age group.
Good luck, everybody.